Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new here, please use that subscribe button. And if you're an existing subscriber, thank you for coming back to watch my video again. So today I am going to be talking to you guys on how to write a professional CV. I've seen a lot of things in these times and age, and I'm like, what is happening? What is going on here? So I'm just going to be talking to you guys on how to write a professional CV, packaging your CV well. I know that I've done a video about common mistakes that people make in their CVs, and I'm going to be linking the video in the description box. I've also talked about I think that's about it. So today I'm just going to be talking to you guys on how to structure your CV in a professional manner. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. Welcome back, guys. So first off, the first question is, what is a professional CV? A professional CV is what you use to market yourself. I mean, it is literally what you're using to sell yourself in the job or in the labor market. So it's very important for you to make sure that whatever you are selling on your CV, whatever you're putting out on your CV, is selling your knowledge, expertise, your skills, and your abilities. It's very important. The KSAs are very critical things because, I mean, you don't just want to have a CV that's only telling us your local government, your state of origin, your date of birth. We don't care about those things. What a CV is used for is to market yourself. So it's very important for you to make sure that it is your qualifications, your knowledge, your skills, and your abilities that you are selling on your CV. It's very, very important because that's the most important thing. We don't want to see your CV. I mean, a hiring manager can actually see your CV, and in 10 seconds, they know whether they want to continue looking at it or they want to stop, whether it's actually good for them to even take their time to look at or they want to stop totally. So it's very, very important for you to package your CV in a professional manner. So I'm going to be telling you guys about like 6 major highlights or 7 thereabouts that you need to actually put on your CV. There's a particular way to structure a professional CV. It's actually very, very important. So we're going to be starting now. So number 1 thing that should be found on your professional CV is your contact details. Your contact details should basically be your name, your phone number, and your email address. We don't need to know where you are living. You can just, for location purposes, you can just use, if you're staying in Port Harcourt, Nigeria. If you're staying in Taraba, Nigeria. If you're staying in Ibadan, Nigeria, that's already enough as address, just for somebody to know where exactly you stay. So what is the most important thing in your contacts, please, is just your name, your phone number, and your valid email address. Please put your phone numbers. If you have 2 numbers, please put 2 numbers, and then your valid email address, the one you are checking every day, so that when recruiters want to reach out to you, they can easily reach out to you through that contact. Number 2 important thing that should be found on your professional CV is your personal profile or career profile. Your personal or career profile is simply telling whoever is reading your CV or potential employer of your past experiences, your skills, and your abilities. Get rid of career objectives. I know that a lot of you like to put career objectives on CV, because career objective is okay if you're a new graduate and you're putting career objectives, but for people that already have relevant work experience, please remove career objectives from your CV, because that is basically you asking the employer or telling the employers what you would like to gain from them. But what people want to see these days is what you can actually bring to the table, what you can offer their organization. So get rid of career objectives and replace it with personal or career profile, where you can literally summarize your entire career and your achievements. Make sure your professional profile is not more than 5 lines or 6 lines. Yeah, 6 lines at most. Just try and summarize it so that if somebody is looking at your CV, immediately after they see your name, your phone number, and your email address, the next thing they want to read is your career profile. So make sure it's very catchy. Make sure it's actually selling yourself. Make sure it's telling people about your career, what your experiences of your career has been so far. So make it very engaging and catchy, but make sure that it's not too long. Number 3 important thing that should be found on your professional CV is your skills and competence. After your career profile, you want to go down and then put your skills and competence in another highlight. So this basically is you telling your potential employer what your skills are. Your soft skills and your hard skills is actually very, very important that you put it there. So if your skills are communication skills, you can put it there. If your skills via project management skills, you can put it there. Just make sure that it is the skills, things that you can actually do. Please don't go and put things that you cannot do there. It's not me that told the people to go and write anything, but what I'm just saying is make sure that it's your skills, your soft skills, and your hard skills that you're putting in the 3rd highlight. So like I said, it's starting from your contact details down to your personal profile, and now we are at skills and Competence. So number 4 highlights that should be found in your professional CV is your work experience. So one thing I notice that people do these days is that they take their work experience, they write it from where they are present or where they started working in 1999 down to where they are now in 2023. No, what you should do is ensure that you write your work experience in reverse chronological order, which means that where you last worked or where you are recently working is what is up on top of your CV. So make sure that, okay, for instance, if you're presently working in something something and co international limited, make sure that that is what is there. Then you move to the next place where you just left down to where you worked, like reverse chronological order. That's what I'm just saying. That's how it is to write your CV. Reason being that it's very, very important for you to write your CV in such a way that your potential employers can actually see that, okay, I mean, you don't want to stress them to go into 1999 where you've worked and they start looking for you down there. So it's better that you actually write it in reverse chronological order so that they can easily know where you, I mean, recently worked. That's more important compared to where you worked 10 years ago. So make sure that your CV is written in reverse chronological order. And instead of only just writing your responsibilities, why not switch your responsibilities to key achievements? The reason why is anybody can actually perform a responsibility. Yes, I said it. So the thing is, when you get into a job, okay, let me use an example. So there's Mr. A and there's Mr. B. Mr. A works in, let's say, KPMG. Mr. B also works in KPMG as a chief accountant and Mr. B as a chief accountant. Now, the responsibilities of Mr. A as a chief accountant is the same thing as responsibilities of Mr. B as a chief accountant, but their achievements will be totally different. That's why they always advise that instead of just writing your responsibilities, why not go and write your achievement? For instance, okay, as an accountant, you did one thing, or let me just use one I'm more familiar with, HR. So as a HR person, right, you recruited 500 staff for 10 multinational companies. It's an achievement. If you're writing it as a responsibility, you write was responsible for recruiting. But Mr. A and Mr. B were responsible for recruiting. But how many staff did Mr. A recruit? So it's very, very important that you write your key achievement on your CV rather than just writing your responsibilities. And please don't go and copy other people's achievements and put on your CV. Find your own, what you achieved when you're working on that in that organization, and put it there. Or if you don't want to write only achievement, maybe you feel like your achievement is not a lot, you can mix it, your responsibilities and your achievement, but just make sure that you tailor it down to yourself and don't just generalize. It's actually very, very important. Also, it's very, very important that while you're writing your CV in reverse chronological order, you also write your start date and your end date. If you remember the month, let's say you work somewhere from June 2021 to June 2023, make sure that you write that you worked here from June 2021 to June 2023. It's very, very important that you put your start date and your end date when you're writing where you worked, and also ensure that you put in the position that you held. Don't just say you worked in KPMG and you did not put the position. Very important. You put where you worked, your position held, the time that you worked there, beginning and to the end. And if you are presently working there, you can put it there that you are still working in that. So you can just write 2021 till date. So number 5 highlight that should be found in your CV is your education and qualification. I mean, this is actually very, very important. You want to list your education, I mean, what you've achieved so far in terms of education, and also what you've achieved so far in terms of your qualifications, which are your certifications and probably other things that you've achieved regarding that. So one thing is, it's very, very important also that you write your qualifications and education in reverse chronological order, which means that you are not telling us the name of your nursery school before telling us the name of your university. Please, yes. And the truth is, you don't need to put your nursery school in your CV. We don't need to see your primary school, SSC. We don't want to see it. It's not important. To be honest, these things are no longer relevant now. We don't want to see your secondary school as well. Just go ahead and put your university and your master's or whatever. But if you don't have probably a master's yet or something, you might want to just use your secondary school and your university. But if you have a master's degree, remove the secondary school and put your university and then your MBA. If you have a PhD, you add it to it and all of that. But make sure that it is in reverse chronological order, which means that your PhD should be first, before your master's, before your BSc, and then before your SSc. But please take out the 10 primary schools that you went on your CV. Take it away. Take out the nursery school. We don't want to see it. We're not interested. And that's the honest truth. And then, of course, your qualifications as well, which are your certifications. You also want to include them in your CV, and then you also want to include them in reverse chronological order, which means that the certification that you recently got in 2023 should be the one up, while the one you got in 2022 should be down, and the one in 2021 should follow. You understand what reverse chronological order means? So that's another very, very important thing that should be found in your CV. So it went from contact to personal profile to work experience to skills and competence to work experience, and now we're at qualification and certification. So number 6 important highlights that should be found in your professional CV should be additional information. Now, you don't necessarily have to write them as additional information. You could just go down and put, okay, for instance, some people want to put maybe they've attended a lot of trainings abroad, a lot of other maybe publications. Yes, some people want to also put their publications in their CV, maybe what you wrote as a project in your master's degree level. You can just go down after your qualification and education and all of those things. You can just go down and add your trainings, your projects, your publications, all of those very, very important things that are relevant now and will be relevant to you in actually getting a job and is relevant in your line of career. You don't want to just put things that are not relevant. So you want to make sure that your CV is tailored in such a way that everything that is on it are actually very relevant things. Yeah, the fact that you did a course in project management doesn't mean it has to be on your CV. What you should be asking is, for instance, as a doctor, I don't know if project management is relevant. I don't know, but I'm just saying. So what you should be thinking of putting on your CV is what is relevant. It doesn't have to be all the certifications you've done or all the trainings you've attended. If you're an HR person, for instance, and you've attended some seminars or some conferences regarding CIPM or all of those things, yes, you can easily put them there because you know that these things are actually very, very important to your career goal. But when it comes to you just did a course that's probably not relevant, just make sure that you're not putting irrelevant things. Make sure that any additional information you're adding in terms of trainings you've attended, publications, seminars, and all of that, just make sure that they are relevant to your present career and they are relevant to, where you want to be in the nearest future. So number 7 relevant information highlight that should be found on your professional CV is your reference. But guys, I've seen a lot of people actually write their reference contacts on their CV. It's not ideal. It's not even professional. If you want to add your reference, create another Microsoft document, put your reference contact there and save it. Don't write your references numbers and where they work, because you actually have to put your reference number, their contact details, and where they work. You don't want to just expose it and show every recruiter. Create another document for that and write it and tag it as reference. When you get to the highlight of your reference, or when you get to that point where you have to add your reference, just put available on request. If any employer wants to employ you, it is at the point of employment they ask for your reference, and then you will provide them with your reference. But stop putting your reference contact and where they work. Stop exposing your reference. Make sure you create another document for them and put their contact details there. It's very, very important. So please, if you are watching this video and your reference is on your CV, go and remove it. Thank you very much. Because imagine I'm a reference for somebody and then somebody just puts my name, my contact, and where I work is exposed. So don't do that. Just put available on request. Thank you. So go and change your ways. Go and do it now. As you're watching me, I'm looking at you and I'm telling you to go and do that. So guys, these are the things that should actually be found on your professional CV. So number 1 should be your contact, which is just your name, your phone number, and your email address. Number 2 is your personal profile. Number 3 is your skills and competence. Number 4 is your work experience. Remember to write it in reverse chronological order. Number 5 is your qualification and education. And of course, it is not cast in stone. You can choose to put your qualification and education before your work experience. But me, I prefer it the other way. So you can choose to put your qualification and education before your work experience. Yeah, you can move number 5 and put in number 3. It depends on what you want to do. Just make sure that these things are highlighted on your CV properly. And then the last one is your relevant additional information. Yeah, I said relevant because it should also be things that are relevant to your CV or your career goal. And then the last one is your reference. Ensure that you put available on request. So guys, like I said, those are the 7 things that should be found on your CV. Aside those things, I don't see any other thing that should be found on your CV. Remove all those other, like I said, there's another video somewhere. I'm going to put it in the description box where there are some mistakes that people make in their CV. So please go and remove all those things that should not be found on your CV. When you watch the video, you actually be able to relate to the things that I said should not be found on your CV. But just make sure that it's those important things that you put on your CV, and then ensure that your CV is no more than 3 pages. Like, try as much as possible, no matter how much experiences you've gathered, try as much as possible to remove some irrelevant things. Or sometimes, someone like me, I have like 3 CVs. You can tailor your CVs in such a way that it's 3 pages, but you are putting it depending on the kind of job you're applying for. Yeah, of course, you're going to have like a main CV that covers everything, but make sure that it's no more than 3 pages. I even recommend 2 pages, but for people that have maybe a lot of experiences and they want to put a lot of things in, I recommend that your CV is not more than 3 pages. It's actually very, very important because it is human beings that are most likely reading the CVs. Of course, we have ATS that view CVs these days, but make sure that whatever it is that you're putting in your CV are actually relevant information. You don't want to just put things that we don't need. So guys, I hope you learned one or two things from this video, and I hope that you're going to go and work on your CV and make some adjustments. With this highlight that I've given you, you can actually write your CV by yourself. You probably don't even have to pay somebody to write a CV for you. But then, the reason I'm here for you is that if you've done all of those things and you're probably not just getting it right, you can reach out to me at TheHRGirl1@gmail.com. You can send me your CV for a review, and of course, I'll definitely review your CV for you. But at a fee, I'm going to charge you because why? It's not free. It's not free. This expertise is not free. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you learned one or two things. So please leave a comment in the comment section. If you want to ask any question, you can ask in the comment section. If there's any video regarding CV, work, LinkedIn, reviews, optimizations, and all of those things that you want to ask, you can ask in the comment section. Please remember to like this video and of course subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm rooting for you, and I hope you land your dream job when you do all of these things that I've told you to go and do on your CV. I'm rooting for you. So bye, guys. Hey, wait. It didn't end. So number two important thing that should be found on your professional CV is your personal profile. Your personal